Alrighty, test. Looks like everything is working fine. Good evening, everyone. I hope you are doing well. We are back for the weekly Friday stream, like always. So let's hop into the game. Today we have a couple of things to talk about. Okay, I'm just quickly making sure that my armies are busy. That's good. And we do not have any keeps planned for the rest of the day, so I will be resuming the leveling of my dragons, which you need for the Epilogue rewards, right? So you should try to get those done at some point, right? So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So we will look for 10 and 11 tiles. Perfect. There we go. Okay, alright, so let's talk about some things. First of all, so this is the after you finish the quests. It's not like in LOTR where there's just nothing to do until the end of the season. You get Epilogue quests, right? And I finished the Epilogue 1 today, where you got a lot of rewards, keys, gold, and so on, right? And now we are on Epilogue 2. And basically, as long as you like sign in every day and upgrade your buildings and stuff, and level a few dragons, which is here, right? You need to push 9 dragons to level 50. You can get these pretty easily. And the rewards are great. I mean, here, for example, you get 3 gold keys, right? Which is really cool. So you should definitely aim to do these things. And yeah, like I said, I mean, you will unlock them anyway by just upgrading the buildings, right? I finished everything here, I think. Yep. So we have a couple more things to upgrade around here, right? And I think we have a couple more things to upgrade around here as well. Yeah. So yeah, those Epilogue rewards are great. I think this is really cool that you can keep going after the normal quests are done. And yeah, it's just a nice thing to do, right? So that's cool. Okay, secondly, there are some pretty big upgrades this week to my roster, simply because there were Black Friday deals, which were very good. As you know, I didn't buy the core packs, right? We can check this here. I did not buy any of these yet. I have not touched them. Because I don't think they adjusted the value now, so it's better now, but I still see no reason to rush this, so I'm not going to buy this. The Black Friday deal was pretty good because you got a lot of stuff for a fair amount of money, right? You got gold keys, gold cores, bronze keys, a lot of good stuff. And so I grabbed a couple of those deals, and I pulled a Crimson 100 pull, which means my Crimson is now at 5 stars, which means we have achieved our goal that we set at the start of the season. I did want my A team to be at 5 stars at the end of the first season. And we have done that because Vega, Crimson, and Sivan are now all at 5 stars. We also got lucky and got a nice Caraxes pull. I think it was with a gold key. So our B team is actually also at 5 star plus, which is of course very cool as well, right? So that's good. Those are the upgrades. I've also decided to invest the cores now. I've already mentioned this in my last video. I will go for this one first. We do have the purple cores. I'm just missing a couple of breed marks. Again, there is no need to rush this, so we will get this when we will get it. So these are nice, right? This basically ensures that the commands of your other dragons trigger more often, which is very, very important. And then I've decided to go for Vega's second habit, which increases the physical damage in the right lane. And yeah, those are the two I will focus on for now, and I will get those maximized. Then I will jump into the Fearsome Reach, I would like to put this to 100% so that every time the tactical damage connects, there is fire damage as well, which is very cool, right? And afterwards we will see what we're going to do. Depends a bit on what we pull, but it will either be an investment into Crimson here, or it will be into the fire damage mitigation. I'm a fan of this. I think a lot of people rely on fire damage, so this is pretty good, right? So that's the plan. Again, some of this stuff might change, but that's the outline. And yeah, we finished the season goals, like I said. So there's not a lot left for me to do or to open. I'm just saving my keys now. We have a bunch of Dragon Glass keys, right? There's the Malachite chest. I haven't commented on that yet. I think it's okay. Malachite is a dragon that really shines at 10 stars, and I know I'm not getting there anytime soon, so I'm not gonna open these. Hello Frank, I hope you're doing well. What's up? Yeah, so I'm not going to open this chest. I will just wait for Caraxes and Cyrix again. Yeah, we have a couple of bronze keys, and like I said, I opened a few gold keys today, and yeah, we got some good stuff. I'm pretty happy. So that's that. Okay, so the Black Friday sale, I think it's definitely worth it. You get a lot of value. You should pick it up if you have some spare money to spend, I suppose. And yeah, you get some good stuff. So it is most certainly worth it. Okay, now let's talk about the army allocation, which a lot of people wanted some more info about. So you will have as a low to medium spender. As a free to play it will be different, right? Because you will just be very limited in your options. But if you are like a low to medium spender, you can follow these army allocations really well. So if you don't know, you are restricted and you can only play 5 armies at one time. Okay? And how you should allocate this is, if you are like in my spending range and you have 2 5-star plus teams that you can make, you should play 2 main armies. This is because, you know, they're useful for PvP, they're useful for clearing keep defenders, and you can fight for contested tiles and things like this with the 2 main armies, right? So there should be 2. Then we have 2 siege armies and 1 dedicated tiling army. And I'm gonna talk about what I mean by that, but this should be your allocation. Now, if you want to run 3 siege armies, that's also perfectly fine. Like for me, for example, if I put siege on here, it doesn't really matter. I can still kill the tile. If you're one of the lower players and you put siege on a 3-star blue dragon, I guess you will struggle to take some tiles, right? So that's why I'm saying 2 siege and 1 tiling army. But if you put 3 siege, also perfectly fine, right? And that pretty much fulfills the needs of your warband and the needs of the game if you run it like this, okay? Our server just got into stage 5, had a big fight with Central by Stonehenge. We ended up beating them and sending them back. Now we have a little bit of a break. Well, isn't that nice? Fought a lot of Veigar Shieldbearer armies. They kind of countered my Veigar Archer army. Yes, that's right. So I think the 2 most popular armies are the Veigar with shield bearers and the Caraxes with the spears, right? I don't think Veigar with shield bearers is very good, because you're quite limited with your options. Like what you can do, so you play Veigar with shield bearers, right? And then you go, let's say, for the what's his name, the Vela, right? Vela has shield bearers and it synergizes okay with Veigar. Now my big problem with Vela is that the main command only has a 30% chance to trigger. So right off the bat, you're at a disadvantage if you fight against a guy who plays 3 main dragons that have a 50% chance to activate the main command, right? This is why I'm not a fan of the shield bearer army. And the other thing is, like, what other dragon are you gonna put in the right lane for shield bearer? So you can't run Crimson, you can't run Caraxes, you can't run Cyrex, right? You can't run Tashix, no Vaeldra, no Sivan, no Daimoros. And these are already, like, basically the strongest dragons in my opinion. At least the ones that I have access to. You can run a Carlspire, yes. We have a player who has an adult Carlspire, and he's of course very strong, but I mean it's very hard to get. You have to open a lot of the basic chests because there is no event chest for him, right, this season. So of course Carlspire is pretty good in the right lane in this army. But again, like I said, like my big downfall is the Vela in the shield bearer army, and that's just something I don't like. Now I am thinking a bit about like which armies are popular and stuff, right? So I am thinking about making a horse army that is pretty good. Only problem with the horse army, where you could play Caraxes, is that you lose the Cyrex access, right? I could put Cyrex into this team, which wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, I mean, the options are still quite limited, and the horse armies have very low percentages to trigger the main commands as well, right? So if we look here, if we look at Shadowsong, for example, who is one of the stronger horse dragons, 35% chance. It's just, I don't like having a low percentage chance on my command title. And Seasmoke is okay, but he doesn't do a lot of damage. Malachite has horses, but again, I think Malachite is pretty useless until 10 stars, or, I mean, he's good, but he's not that good. And yeah, I mean, these are pretty much already your options, right? And you have Caraxes, who has a 35% chance for well, which can go great, or it can go very bad. So it's a lot of RNG with these armies, which I don't like. And yeah, that's why I think I will stick with the 2 armies I have for now. So the strongest army in my opinion is the one that I'm playing here. Simply because you are playing a taunting dragon, you are playing a high damage dealer, and you are playing a crowd control dragon that can also do damage. And in addition to that, you have very high percentage main command titles. I mean, if we look here, for example, at some of the reports, basically there is like never really a fight where my Sivan does less than 10k damage, right? Which is, I mean, it's really good, right? So, like, most of your reports will look like this, and yeah, it's very solid, right? If we look at one of the keeps, for example, we can look at the Eerie. I mean, of course, you will get stuck in some draws with this army because this is more of a tanky army, right? That doesn't lose a lot of troops. So, I mean, this to me is a very solid report, and here we got pretty unlucky with the Vega main command and the Crimson main command. Right here it only triggered 2 times, so that's obviously below average. So this is like a very good report, right? That's how you have to think about things like this. And I mean, there's a couple more reports I can show, but it's basically always the same. So I think this army is the strongest right now. I'm very happy with it. There's really not a lot I would change here. Yesterday he was at 4 stars, so at 5 stars this would have killed, right? Like you can see the main commands are triggering, the damage is there, you lose very few troops, and yeah, that's what I like about a main army, right? And this is why I think these guys are just very good right now. Now, of course, there's also other options, right? Depending on which legendary dragons you pull, but I'm a fan of this army. And the second army I'm a fan of this is the Caraxes army, right? So this is no surprise. I think like everyone who opened the event chests is playing this. So, but like I said, this army I think it's a bit weaker than the ranged army, simply because of Vaeldra. Vaeldra is not very good, sadly, at 6 stars. He starts to shine at 10 stars, and it's a count, of course, right? So I am countering this army with my ranged, and honestly I'm not too worried about running into shield bearers, because then I will just use the spears and you know it's okay, so not really a big deal. Okay, also, do you have a Discord? Would love to join in theory craft for Dragonfire. I'm completely hooked. Yeah, I can post the Discord link in the chat. Just give me a second. There we go. Yeah, for now, like I said, we have pretty much, well, we pretty much allow all people to join the Discord, but next season I will clean up the Discord server a bit, and yeah, we'll see. Okay, wish they would have done the game with GOT characters and not dragons. Yeah, I mean, there is a game with GOT characters already, right? So I don't like that game. It's also older than this game, of course. I think it's even older than the LOTR game we played. So, and I don't think it's very good. It's very pay to win. But yeah, I mean, they could have done a mix, I guess. I mean, this might still come. You never know. There might be Dragon Riders or whatever, right? Like, they have to make money somehow. So we will see what happens. I really hope they keep innovating and develop the game. It has so much potential, just a little bit lacking when it comes to mechanics, but it's also like the first ever season, so I'm sure they will. Yeah, I'm a fan of this game. I think this is... I mean, I've tested a lot of games, and this was the best one for sure. So, I think this game not only has potential, but you also have the financial backing of a big corporation here. You have developers that are pretty engaged from what I can tell, and you have just a lot of lore, which means that people will spend money, right? A lot of the other games that people are trying out, there is no lore attached to it, or no big studio, and those games are going to fail. Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you can enjoy it maybe for a couple of months or weeks, but the truth is, like, there is a reason why IPs cost so much money, right? It's because they attract players, and I mean, this game, it will be the same. What's up, William? I hope you're doing well. I saw you got some nice pulls as well with the Black Friday deal, so congratulations. Okay, anyway, so putting all of that aside, let's go back to the topic at hand. So, like I said, at my level, I will run 2 main armies and 3 siege armies. Okay? Now, what dragons should you use for the siege? I did not level the correct dragons this season. You should use the dragons that have no siege debuff. Okay, that's the main thing. So Thunderstrike is a good dragon for siege. Jägerdrix is a good dragon for siege. Salt Striker is a good dragon for siege. So this could be your first siege group, right? It's 3 blue dragons that don't have a siege debuff. Next, you can do Bevlorin for siege, you can do Shimmer for siege. Shimmer has a siege buff as well, so that's of course very nice. And you can do Shadowrun for siege, and this will be your second siege army, right? 1, 2, and 3. So those are already 2 siege armies that I would imagine most people have access to. They consist only of blue dragons. The blue dragons are useless in PvP, as we know. So yeah, so that's basically what you have right off the start, right? And then as you go into the purple dragons, so here you will have to make a distinction between dragons that are not playable for PvP, because there are a few that are currently just not good, and purple dragons that have no siege debuff, right? So this is more of a mix and match, but that's okay. We only need to find 3 more dragons, right? So Feska is not a good option for siege. Vela is a good option for siege. Rizarion is a good option for siege. He even has a siege buff. Now with Risarion, some people will play him in their main team because he is good, right? So if you play him in your main team, obviously you can replace him with one of the other purple dragons that doesn't have a siege debuff. But I'm not using Vela, so I will put him in my siege army. I will put Risarion in my siege army. And I will put Shadow Song in my siege army, right? And then I already have my 3 siege armies filled. Now, Sea Smoke is not good for siege. Let's say you want to use Risarion in your main, right? What can you replace him with? And let's assume you have limited access, so any gold dragon you have needs to be in a PvP army. You can play the Amoros instead of the Risarion for siege. You can play the Sivan. I wouldn't recommend doing it, but you can play the Sivan instead of the Risarion for siege. You can also play the Vaeldra instead of the Risarion for siege, right? And those are pretty much your options. So I will have, next season I will do this a little bit differently and better, of course, than this season. You can see I didn't level these two. So I will have 2 siege armies consisting only of blue dragons that can also take tiles because I have them all at adult, right? And then I will have Velar, Risarion, and Shadow Song as my 3rd siege army. And then of course I have my 2 mains, and that's the allocation you should do. So again, I will repeat, obviously focus on your main army first. If you spend a decent amount of money, you can do 2 main armies. Otherwise, the second army should also be, synergize well with each other, just so that you can take higher level tiles easily. And then 3 siege armies with which you will tile and siege basically, right? Now, of course, you can also say, I want to tile with just 1 dragon, right? So if you don't know this, if you haven't played a game like this before, you can remove these dragons, obviously, right? So they're in the field now, actually, that's why I can't do it here. But here it should be possible, so I can say I want to remove this guy, I want to remove this guy, and I'm basically tiling with 1 dragon, right? Now, you do this to conserve stamina, right? Because it means you have 2 more dragons who have full stamina. You can do this as well. I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to tile with my siege armies because they have no other purpose in PvP, right? And it also means I have siege around all the time. If I need it quickly to uproot a player, to take a ruin, whatever, take a town, take a castle, attack a keep. And yeah, if a siege army runs out of stamina, I can recall them, of course, and swap out to another siege army, which in my case would be Daimoros, Venator, and Kalspire, for example, right? So I have enough dragons to do this. Obviously, this is a personal thing for you to decide, and that's how I would allocate, right? So you have 2 PvP main armies and 3 siege armies, and then you have an optional 4th siege army in your base if you have unlocked all the dragons. Now, of course, the dragons that have the siege debuff, you can play them as tilers. Yeah, so you can say, okay, I'm just gonna load up Antares, I'm gonna tile in a straight line, I'm just gonna focus on low level tiles, perfectly fine. And same for Vesper and all of the other dragons that have a siege debuff, which will require switching armies around in the base, right? So that works perfectly fine. Okay, I think I've explained this well, so let's just continue with leveling a bit here. As I said before, I need to fulfill the Epilogue quest, which involves leveling a couple more dragons to level 50, right? So we're just gonna send these here. Cool. Okay, while we wait, we can look at the map on our server. So I think our server is quite active, to be honest. There are a fair amount of active players in all factions. of course, I mean, we entered with a team, so when the LOTR servers shut down, we decided to try out a different game together, and we went together on this server. And of course, some of the active people in the other factions, they're gonna join us next season. And yeah, as I heard, a couple of servers will be merged together, so it should be good. In any event, we have dominated this season, right? We can pretty much take all of the territories if we want to. We have tried to give the other factions some rewards as well, right? So even though the central faction is not existent anymore, we let them siege keeps and stuff for rewards. And on Sunday we will take King's Landing. I will probably stream this just to see like how we do, right? Of course we're relocating next to it as well, because this is a very tough keep. We have 36,000 armies, and my main army is at 29,500, right? So that's a really big difference. So yeah, and then we have 243 million siege, which is obviously very tough. We will need to involve all of the northern warbands or alliances for this. Everyone is basically relocating next to King's Landing, and then we will see if we can grab it. So yeah, that's what's left on this server. And then I guess, yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe we will do some PvP around this area. We gave the southern faction Casterly Rock back a couple of days ago. So maybe they want to fight here a bit. Maybe we can do some friendly PvP or something. But yeah, I mean, that's, yeah. So our season, we're pretty much just waiting for the end, and then for new competition, of course. So yeah, I mean, these castles, I'm not even sure if like anyone has tiled to them, to be honest, because again, there's not really a big need to do so, right? There's a couple of castles here that are still neutral. We can let the southern or the central faction pick them up. It doesn't really matter. And yeah, I mean, I guess we can finish a couple of these if we are bored. But yeah, I mean, that's the situation on our server. It works quite well, but my goal is to run your army once I level up Crimson, hopefully star him up a bit. Yeah, Crimson is great. My main team right now is level 43 Sivan, level 45 Vega, and level 40 Diamoros 3-star. Yeah, it's a good army. I played around with Diamoros a bit as well, but I wasn't particularly impressed with him. It was also because he's one of the few purples that I don't have adult, so I'm missing the confusion chance, right? But yeah, in my experience, he was just a bit too squishy. And I prefer a dragon in the right lane who maybe doesn't do that much damage, but is just always very solid and doesn't lose a lot of troops. And I think Crimson fits this role very nicely. Not to mention again that he counters Carax's fire damage. Carax is currently one of the hardest hitting dragons, right? So if we take a look here, okay, so here we got the stalemate, nice. This is an 11 tile. So quite challenging for my C and D team, but this is looking good. Yeah, if we take a look here at the Eerie, for example, it must have been today, I believe. Yeah, this is, I mean, okay, this army was empty here. Caraxes did 17,000 damage. In like, how many rounds was this? Take a peek. I mean, it was basically 8 rounds, less than that. It was basically 7 rounds, right? I mean, that's crazy. Like, that's a 4-star Caraxes, right? So basically, yeah. So we chewed through these guys, 17,000 on him. we shoot through the next army as well. 12,000 on him, 11,000 on Cyrex. So basically, in my mind, like if you have this team at the really Kraken level, which some of us do, you need something to mitigate fire damage, okay? And this is where Crimson comes in very handy as well. Not to mention that he has a stun, which is very, very good, right? You have a 40% chance. So the idea in this army that I'm showing, which is my favorite army, right, is that you increase the activation chance of the commands by 6%, right? So in this case, we will push this to 46%. So we have a 46% chance for the damage to trigger, and then a 25% chance to afflict the target with stun for 2 rounds, which is very, very strong in this game, right? And of course you can increase the stun chance to 50% once you get him to 10 stars, which we are still far away from, of course. But yeah, Crimson is just a very good dragon right now, I think, and I like playing him a lot, so I do not plan to change this army. I'm very, very happy with it, and yeah, he's not even adult yet, right? And he hits like for around 10k as well, pretty solidly in most fights. We got 8k here, little bit of bad RNG, I suppose. Here we go, 10k, 4 triggers, right? I mean, that's very good. And like I said, this will be at 46% soon. So, I mean, this is very, very, very solid. Okay, can you show commanders in this game? Yeah, the dragons are the commanders, right? So, yeah, not a lot to say about that. There is no gear in this game, which is very good in my opinion. But yeah. Thought you have like Ned Stark and stuff? No, this is House of Dragons Dragonfire, or Game of Thrones Dragonfire it's called. So it focuses on the House of Dragons. There are no Dragon Riders right now, and there is no gear, which in my opinion makes this game much more friendly than some of the others I have explored. And yeah, I mean, of course, they might add a couple of things in the future, right? But yeah, like I said, for a start, this is very good. Now, the other thing you need to keep in mind is that upgrading this titles is important, right? But you can get both of these currencies by sweeping mobs. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I tried many games, and I don't think there's really a game that is more friendly towards the lower spenders, right now at least. Okay, so let's continue with the tiles. We want to take a level 10 tile again. Yeah, it's a good game. They have weekly updates. They have, yeah, the dragon stuff, it takes some time to understand it, right? So it's not really a game that you just immediately understand, which I also think is good, right? You need to explore a bit, test some different armies. There is a troop countering system where you have 4 different types of troops that counter each other, and of course you have siege as the 5th, right? So this is pretty good. So yeah, I think this game is on a good path, and as I understand it, so we are currently on server 64, world ID 64, and this is not publicly available for all people yet. So it's currently restricted internationally, which means that once this game goes global, I think there's a good possibility that it will explode, right? So I'm very excited for this. I think it will take a couple more weeks at least, or maybe even months, but yeah. Like I said, I'm very happy with this game. So that's good. Okay, so I covered, I saw some questions on the YouTube, which I covered on the stream now. I will just double check to see if I missed anything. I think I did not. It was mostly about the allocation of the different armies, right? So, yeah. Okay, good. Vega is always tough on the PvE tiles because he's or she's very tanky. That looks like we did kill on that one, which is good. Okay. Let's see what the report looks like here. So this is into disadvantage as well. Pretty good. Yeah, like I said, I mean, the horse army is fine. I'm just not a fan of the low percent chance of the main damage dealers. But if it triggers, it's of course very strong. Okay. Alright, that's pretty much all I had planned today. Like I said, on Sunday, King's Landing opens, right? So we will be taking it when it opens. And I believe then we are slowly heading towards the end of the season. And yeah, hopefully we get merged with some nice servers and we can have a little bit more extensive PvP, which we did not necessarily have this season. We did have some PvP, but yeah, I mean, it was obviously a lot more relaxed than the LOTR PvP we are all used to. Okay, so let's grab this stone tile here as well. This is a level 11 stone, so it will take 2 hits. But that is okay. Yeah, and then I'm relocating next to King's Landing as well. I think I'm still around Harrenhal, so I will relocate somewhere in the back. Yeah, this will be a tough keep. This will be a tough keep. So with my current armies, I can take out, without reinforcing, I can roughly take out 7 to 8 armies on level 4s. Right, and the level 4s have 40 armies at 30,900 power, and King's Landing has 45 armies at 36,000 power. So this will be tough, yeah. And 243 million siege, which is a huge amount, right? If we look at the siege we did on the Erie today, we did like 84k per dragon, right? So you can see it will take a heavy commitment from all of the alliances. I hope we are able to take it. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure we will. I joined the Discord. Thank you for the stream, man. Have a good one. Yeah, no worries. Have a good evening as well, or day or night, wherever you are. Yeah, I covered everything I wanted to cover today, so if there are any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, I wish you all a nice remainder of your Friday, and we will be back on Sunday with the King's Landing stream. Okay, nice. This was also quite solid. Yeah, I mean, if Shadow Song gets like 4 procs, he's like the purple version of Caraxes, right? So you can have fights with him where he does very little, but if he gets a few procs on the Breath of Fire, he does a lot of damage. Yeah. Alright, so good night, guys. Thanks for watching the stream, and I hope, as always, that the information was helpful. So yeah, bye bye.